Hello and welcome to another episode of Wise Guy Recaps. Ben Willis is an art college student who has a beautiful girlfriend that's young and is in good shape. However, one day his girlfriend Susie breaks up with him. Ben was so shocked due to this sudden breakup that he couldn't figure out how to comfort her. He thinks to himself that since he's quite boring and unromantic, so that's why Susie broke up with him. Next day, when Ben arrived at school, he saw that Susie has already found a new boyfriend, which broke Ben down. Seeing this, Ben's buddy comforts him, saying that the best way to get over the pain of a breakup is to start a new relationship. He told Ben that women are possessive, and when Susie would find out that he has a new girlfriend, she'll definitely come back to him. But Ben was unable to do that because all he has in mind is Susie. Later that night, while hearing the hormonal noises from the next room, Ben became even more regretful about his breakup with Susie. So he called Susie and asked her to patch things up, but Susie turned him down, saying that her new boyfriend is far better than him and she hopes that Ben never bothers her again. After that phone call, Ben is completely broken. He feels like he's falling out of love, with his mind full of Susie's memories. Due to much pain and stress, Ben begins to find it hard to fall asleep. However, even with extreme sleep deprivation, Ben is able to live his life like a normal person. Now Ben has an extra 8 hours of spare time for no reason at all. He decides to pass that time by reading books, but Susie's memories still linger in his mind, which becomes quite painful for him. He needs to divert his attention somehow and relieve this pain. One day when Ben was shopping in the supermarket, Sharon, a good-looking cashier, caught Ben's attention. Also, Ben sees an ad for a job there, and since it was for the night shift, so Ben decides to apply for it. That way, Ben can easily pass the spare time as well as get a chance to see beautiful Sharon every day, which could also help him getting over his ex-girlfriend. The manager of the supermarket is quite satisfied with Ben because having a young guy working at night is a rare thing. So after checking Ben's resume, the manager quickly offers the job to him. Later that day, Ben meets Sharon again by the locker. Since Sharon was running late, so she just said hello to him and left. Ben was feeling good about the interaction, but what he saw after made him quite unhappy. Although the manager caught Sharon late, however, instead of arguing with her, he slightly pats Sharon on her back and tells her that it's okay. This scene makes Ben upset and he zones out while staring at the food that was scattered on the ground. Ben only comes back to his senses when his manager comes and asks him to focus on his work. Thanks to this job, Ben did manage to find something to keep himself busy during the full 8 hours at night, but boredom became everybody's biggest enemy in the supermarket. Fortunately, everyone had their own methods to kill the time. Sharon believed that the more you care about the time, the slower it goes, so she used to avoid looking at the clock, expecting the time to fly quickly. Barry Brickman and Matt Stephens are the two other employees at the supermarket who are very careless about their lives. Their best way of killing the time is to make dirty jokes or have scooter races while their manager is away. The last person on the night shift is the manager himself, whose only trick to pass the time is to tease Sharon every now and then, which annoys her a lot. All the night shift staff had their own tricks for killing the time, except Ben, as he has never been able to blend in, and due to this, Ben continues to suffer from insomnia for 2 more weeks. This soon turns out to be a blessing in disguise, as Ben finds it difficult to tell between the reality and illusion, and one night he is surprised to realize that he has the ability to freeze the time, making people around him stand still like statues. In the paused world, Ben can do anything he wants and walk freely. He starts to observe everything around him carefully. Looking at all those gorgeous ladies in the aisles, Ben's inner devil heart runs out. Ben thinks of tricking the manager and his erratic colleagues who were causing damages by moving them right next to each other. Then he begins to strip all the women's clothes in the supermarket, but not with any bad intentions. Instead, he takes out his sketching pad and begins to draw stroke by stroke. Since his childhood, Ben had been quite obsessed with the females' nude bodies, and that's why he studies art. Also, because of the power of freezing time, Ben was finally able to appreciate the gorgeous bodies and get the concept of beauty in peace. There aren't any dirty thoughts in his mind at the moment, just his respect for the art and the human bodies. After finishing the sketches, Ben carefully dresses up the girls and clicks his fingers so everything gets back to normal. Seeing that Ben is still not happy, his buddy convinces him to visit their neighbor Natalie. Natalie had been offering sexual services to nearby people ever since she was a teenager. His buddy thinks that Ben would visit her to release his pent-up desire, but Ben hesitates to do so. Next day, Ben meets Sharon again. Even though Ben likes Sharon very much, but he doesn't have the courage to express his feelings. He's even afraid of asking her out for a movie. Not being brave enough results in someone else taking the advantage. Ben doesn't want Sharon to date Matt, but one night Matt takes Sharon to a movie and then next day tells everyone that he had a great night with Sharon. Throughout his life, Ben has flipped over someone 3 times. The first one was a female athlete, second one was his biology teacher at school who had an attractive figure, and the third one was his classmate Green. Green fractured her left arm due to an accident, so she had to get a cast. When the plaster was removed, her arm was all covered with long dense hair. Green was very upset because all her classmates made fun of her because of the hairy arm. At that time, only Ben approached her and comforted her, and the two very soon fell in love with each other and started dating. One day, Green tried to kiss Ben, but he got nervous and ran away. A few days later, Green left the school and moved to America with her parents, which affected Ben a lot. That's the reason why he couldn't develop a relationship with Susie despite of being together for so long. And even now, due to his lack of courage, a loser managed to take away the girl he loved. So all he could do is freeze the time again and again and depict every image of Susie. But soon he gets lucky as their manager organizes a football match between the employees from various supermarkets. Their manager asked everyone to participate so he could show off on the court. Their opponent team had the upper hand from the very beginning and managed to beat them by 26-0. At this point, the manager is still very positive and continues to encourage everyone. But since they're not professional players, so they're about to lose the game. Suddenly, Ben exerts his time-freezing superpower, but not to help his team to win the championship. Instead, he's just trying to create an opportunity to be alone with Sharon. As soon as he unfreezes the time, the football lands hard on the manager's face. The manager is taken to the hospital. Ben seizes this opportunity at once and asks Sharon if she'd like a cup of coffee with him, to which she happily agrees. While sitting in the cafe, Ben inquires about her relationship with Matt. Sharon told him that they just went to watch a movie and nothing else. Ben got quite relieved after hearing this. Then they started talking about their dreams and lives in general. Sharon told him that she works the night shift to save money for her tuition because she wants to learn Spanish before traveling to South America. Ben told Sharon that he wants to become a successful painter who's capable of organizing exhibitions. The more time they spent together, the better they got along with each other. Later that night, Ben walked Sharon to her house. He wanted to give Sharon a goodbye kiss, but due to his nervousness, he only kissed Sharon on her cheek. Anyhow, it was a good start. Next day, the manager announced that his birthday is just around the corner and he would like to invite everyone to his party. Sharon asked Ben if he would like to be her partner, and Ben couldn't be happier to hear this. After his breakup with Susie, it was the first time that Ben had a genuinely good sleep. Now Ben has completely gotten over the pain of his breakup. Ben was enjoying his sleep, but a phone call wakes him up. The guy said that he is in charge of a gallery, and after looking at Ben's paintings, he would like to arrange an exhibition for him. Ben has no idea that it was actually Matt who called and pranked him. Ben was on cloud 9 because both his love life and career were going smoothly. He picks up Sharon and goes to the birthday party. Something very shocking happens there as Susie, his ex-girlfriend, is also there. Soon Ben finds out that Susie's boyfriend is none other than the manager's brother. When Susie sees Ben, she immediately tries to make up with him and gives him a kiss. This makes Sharon very angry, so she leaves. Ben tried to stop and explain everything to Sharon by freezing time, but even after 2 long days of thinking, he still fails to figure out what to say. He arrives at Sharon's house, but she is absolutely livid and doesn't want to listen to what Ben has to say. Right now, the only thing good in his life was the phone call from the gallery. Next day, he comes to the gallery where the person in charge told Ben that he has never called him. But since he's already here, so he can have a look at Ben's sketches. Ben's work impresses the person in charge and he immediately plans to hold an exhibition for him. Ben sends an invitation to Sharon as well. When Sharon arrived at the exhibition, she got surprised to see that Ben's paintings were all about her. Nothing needs to be explained anymore because the paintings proved Ben's love for her. As the snow was drifting romantically outside, Ben froze the time and took Sharon out of the gallery. With the snowflakes surrounding them, the two passionately kissed each other and the movie ended.